Hi guys, welcome back. Today will probably be the last one until into the weekend. Tomorrow I'm going to be all about packing. Just ordered me bait. That's all going to be there waiting ready for me. And at the end of this video, for those of you that like your motors and what have you, I'm going to put a few photographs. I've done it the only way I can figure out at the moment. The missus hasn't transferred them to digital, but one or two of you might be interested in these. But today I'm going to start with a story. Nothing relevant to what's going on today. I just found it amusing. Now, they've been doing tests on the river that flows through Glastonbury down there in the lovely Somerset, particularly around the times of the festival. For those that don't know, there's a river that runs through the area, just in case you've never been. Now, they've been testing this water in the river. Now, they're warning that downstream of the festival site, they found a lot of chemical contaminants in the water, which included cocaine and many other types of illegal substances, shall we say. And they're saying that this could harm the aquatic life. Now, a lot of people would say, well, how does it get there? Surely the festival goers aren't standing along the river and throwing their drugs in. Well, actually, no. What they put it down to is where they can't be asked to use the toilets and people pissing everywhere on the land, anywhere they can find. Eventually, this finds its way into the river. Even weeks afterwards, if it's dry, then rain washes it into the river. But they haven't found many of these contaminants upstream of the festival site. But for those that are weird enough to want to go down and try and bottle this, I wouldn't recommend it, because apparently there is a lot more nasty stuff in there than that. But in the same news, this was what anglers have reported very strange catches of fish. He said basically you put a handful of bait in the water, they just come and give themselves up, he said, and they've all got these faraway looks in their eyes. Oh gee, you couldn't make this shit up, you really couldn't. But anyway, elsewhere, has anybody else noticed that all of a sudden they've stopped talking about the CO2 crisis? That magically went away, didn't it? Nobody's talking about that now. And very little is being said about the gas prices now, where many small gas suppliers are going bump, and the bigger people are taking them on and taking the customers on, and obviously making a lot more money because they're charging more for their gas. And the petrol issues. Well, we filled up last night. Obviously, we've got a 4-hour drive ahead of us on Saturday morning, so we've made sure we've got enough in the tank for that. We never had any issues. It seems to be levelling it out. Mainstream are still pushing it, the ones that created it. But yeah, that's all concocted by mainstream. That was basically, there never was a fuel shortage or a driver shortage. They just frightened people and panicked into buying. But all this, one after the other, smoke screens and mirrors comes to mind. the link I put out yesterday, if you go and click on that and read through that document, which is a government document, it's on a government website, free for all to see. That's what they're trying to talk about and things they're looking into while all this is going on. All hidden behind the mainstream hit stories of all these shortages and problems. Now, I would probably give it a week before they put together something else to keep the smoke screens going, or they'll invent another crisis that they will use psychology through propaganda to force you into doing things that you don't need to do. You know, they're still trying to take away many of our freedoms, many of our given rights. But anyway, as I say, this will be the last one. But before I go, as promised, is some old photographs, very old photographs in some cases, of some of the cars that I raced over the years. This is only a handful of many. Enjoy for a couple of minutes. Well, there you go. This was my first ever purpose-built race car, as it were. Mini, fitted with a 1400 engine. That was from the dirt. This was my first proper dragster. That is actually me sat up in the back there. This is the one that blew up on me, caught fire, burnt my legs. As you can see, I'm sat right behind the engine. And then we thought it would be a good idea to build one with an engine in the back. Be a bit safer. As it turned out, no, it wasn't. Its first outing, I put it on its side at 150, 160 mile an hour. So that was scrapped. And then I bought this one. This is a very old photograph. That's my son there when he was very young. Me looking very muscly. That was a Pontiac that I used for street racing. In the street class, not for street racing. This was down on Pendine Sands, just before I put in a run of well over 100 mile an hour down the sand there on speed day. And that's the car in its entirety. That's running 7.4 litre, 455 cubic inch big block Pontiac. Basically a full race engine under it. And I used to take it on holiday, as you can see. That was down in Wales, at Pendine. Hope you enjoyed them. Now, back in my youth, when I had a decent body and muscles, and I mean, there's a lot more. I've got bags full of them upstairs. Sadly, I lost a lot of my albums, but in moves over the years. But I'll dig a few out, and as I say, the missus will digitise them, and I'll do a whole video on them. Just put a load of photographs together and explain a bit about what's going on in some of them. But anyway, until the next time, people, which will probably be into the weekend by the time we get up there and settled. Take care of yourselves. Thank you for your support. My respects to each and every one of you, as always. Couldn't do this without you guys. So, I'm away now. So while I'm gone, stay safe. Stay strong. Stay free from tyranny, and don't listen to the mainstream propaganda. Laters, guys.